Okay, we need all the toys. So you need your roller or your double towel rolls. You need your strap, your big ball, and your little soft prickle balls. all the toys. If you have everything, we're good. And as always, you're just trying to be as relaxed as you can here. So you're allowing your body to sink down. Deepening your breath. And just noticing any areas that you're gripping. So maybe you feel that your jaw's very tight this morning. Maybe you feel that your shoulders are up around your ears. So seeing if you can find just a little bit more softness. And we're just going to hold here and take a few breaths. And then we're going to start to move our shoulders. So let's just have like soft floppy arms, let's have bent elbows, and let's just do some little shoulder rolls. So it's kind of easier if you think about maybe rolling your elbows, which is going to move those shoulder blades. And again, you can't really do it wrong here. This is just about getting some movement going. Let's maybe reverse and go the other way. Notice that sensation of your shoulder blades moving and pressing against your roller or your towel. Getting that little bit of a massage in there. Okay, and then we're going to float our arms up towards the sky. Palms are facing in towards each other. And then I want you to reach your fingertips high up towards the sky, and you can feel how your shoulder blades kind of move away from your roller. And then we're going to allow the shoulder blades to sink back down, anchoring back down, maybe grabbing the roller. Let's do that a few times. So reaching your fingertips, shoulder blades are going to go wide, move away from your roller, and then anchoring back down. Just move with the flow of your breath. And then this time, as your shoulder blades anchor back down, we're going to keep them down and we're going to float the arms over our head now towards the floor. And then just back up towards the sky. Again, use your breath. So let's inhale as we take the arms back. And then exhale to bring them back up to the sky. Let's do that a few times. Inhale and back. And exhaling to come back up. 2 more. And then pause in here. So hands are pointing up towards the sky. So this time we're going to lower one hand towards our hip and drop the other hand overhead towards the floor behind you, like little scissor arms. And then we're just going to switch. One arm's coming up and over, one arm's lowering towards your hip. Just go nice and slow. Don't force anything, just notice how it feels. And keep the ribs from lifting up as the arm goes overhead. Try and keep those ribs as relaxed as you can. Back of the rib cage anchoring down. You're going to do 2 more of these. Good, and then we're going to bring our hands just in front of our shoulders and our palms are facing up. Take a breath in here, and as you exhale, I want you to imagine that you're pushing the ceiling away from you. Press your feet into the floor and push those hands up towards the sky. And then inhale, just let your hands soften and just kind of drop back down. Exhale, press into your feet, press into those hands, push the ceiling, find that resistance. And then inhale again, soft. The arms are just going to float all the way back down. Do that a few times again, just going with your breath. It's amazing how you can create your own resistance and how you can almost feel that heaviness as you push the hands away. And then how light and floated they feel as they come back down. Let's do 2 more like that. One more time. then just gently lowering your hands all the way down, letting your hands come down to rest on the floor to give you a little bit of stability, because we're going to move the legs now. And we're just going to gently float one leg into that tabletop position and then just lower it back down. And we're going to just switch sides and just do that a couple of times. So it's just that little single knee fold, seeing how we feel, bringing up one leg at a time, making sure that we're nice and stable here. This time as you bring that leg in, we're going to pause. We're going to straighten the leg out a little bit. It doesn't need to go fully straight. And then we're just going to lower that leg down to the floor. Slide the foot along the floor to bring it back in. And let's do the other side. So leg comes in, leg straightens out, floats down to the floor and slides back in. We're going to keep switching sides. Now you can have a soft foot as you lower. You can flex your foot or point your foot. All is good. I've chosen to flex my foot this morning, so as I'm lowering, I'm leading with my heel and pulling the front of the foot towards me, trying to get a little bit of a stretch through the back of my leg, but do what feels good to you. Let's do one more on each side, just kind of finishing off even. And when you finish that last one, you're going to ooze yourself off your roller or your towel. Just gently roll yourself to the side, roll your roller away, and then you can enjoy that integration of that sensation, that feeling of no spine being there. And you might choose to keep your knees bent or straighten your legs out long, whichever feels better for you. And then hold there and just take some breaths. I love that. I especially love that when we come off the roller. I feel like that's the best sensation there. Noticing how the back of your rib cage hopefully feels much more in contact with the floor. Maybe you feel you can get everything down there. Maybe you feel the back, your lower back is completely touching the floor too. And it's just because we've removed all of that tension and your body's able to fully relax there. So we're going to take advantage of this lovely long spine, this total relaxation, and we're going to do our spine curl. So let's go back to knees bent, feet flat, arms are down by your sides. Taking a breath here, tilt your pelvis towards you and then curling your tailbone up towards the sky as you roll up your spine. Pausing at the top for a breath in and then exhaling as you slowly roll back down. Seeing if you can find each part of your spine coming down into the floor, almost like we're coming down vertebra by vertebra. So often when we do this, if you have a lot of tension in your back, there'll be an area that just won't quite come down. Often it's just behind the rib cage or just kind of as the rib cage and the lower back meet. That tends to be an area that people struggle to relax enough to get down onto the mat. So I'm just going to roll up and down here just a few times. And again, we're using this just to release tension, just to kind of enjoy that sensation of that really relaxed spine, and just for your body to acknowledge this feeling of being like this. We want to have more of this in our everyday life. Alright, so as you roll down this time, we're going to stay down. And you're going to just bring your knees into your chest, give your knees a little hug. Let's just have a little roll here. We're going to go on to the big ball next, so when you're ready, grabbing your big ball, just moving your roller out of the way so that you're not going to trip over it. Okay, and we're going to place the big ball under our pelvis. And then we're just going to pause there for a moment, just kind of allowing your body to settle here. Because whenever you do something new, your body kind of puts the brakes on and goes, hang on a minute, what's happening? And everything tenses up. And then when it realises everything's okay, it starts to relax again. So we're just going to let it do that for a moment. And then we're going to take it into just that gentle pelvic tilt. So we're just going to tilt our pelvis towards us and away. Again, moving with your breath. Exhale as you tilt towards you. Inhale as you tilt away. Doesn't need to be a big movement, just whatever feels good to you. Good. And then we're going to find that little single knee fold again here. So letting your arms come down for support. Just bringing one leg into that tabletop position and then lowering it down. Switch and do the same on the other side. Just making sure that we feel nice and steady this morning and that we don't feel like we're going to roll off the ball as we lift one leg up. And then we're going to do the same as we did on the roller. So as you bring your leg in this time, we're going to pause. We're going to straighten the leg out a little bit and we're going to lower it down towards the floor. And then just slide it back in. Same on the other side, leg comes in, leg lengthens and lowers. Just go nice and slow. Don't worry too much about what position your pelvis is in, let it just go where it needs to go. With all of this release stuff, it's not about trying to hold your body in a really strict position, it's about letting it unwind a little bit and get rid of tension. So if it wants to move, it's perfectly fine. We're going to do just one more of these on each side. And then what we're going to do next is we're going to slide one leg out long on the floor. So just sliding one leg out away from you. And then when that leg's out long, I want you to flex the foot. So push out through your heel and pull the front of the foot towards you. Just pausing there just for a moment. And then we're just going to slide that leg all the way back in. Let's do the same on the other side. So see if you can slide your foot along the floor. And then push out through your heel and pulling the front of the foot towards you. Just pausing for a moment and then bringing that leg back in. Keep going, keep switching sides. It's easier if you've got socks on ready for this one, if you're kind of juddering along your mat. And then slide it back in. So just taking that moment to pause, to push out through your heel, to feel that lengthening. So this time, if you feel nice and stable and you don't feel like you're going to fall, we're going to add the opposite arm reach. So as you slide one leg out, the other arm's going to float overhead and you're going to stretch from fingertips all the way down to that heel, pressing that heel away. And then as you slide the leg back in, just slide that arm back in, or just bring that arm back in. Other side arm just kind of reaches, lengthens, and draws back in. Keep going, just keep switching sides, moving nice and slow. And again, if you feel nice and stable and you feel like you're not going to fall, you could do both arms. So one leg and both arms reach overhead. And the arms come back in as the leg comes back in. If you feel a little bit wobbly, you can keep one arm down at a time and just go back to that single arm. Good. Let's do one more like that. And then as you come back in this time, just pause in there for a moment. We're going to take the ball away. We're going to push into the heels and lift your bottom to take the ball away, and then allow your bottom to come back down onto the floor. Again, you might want to keep your knees bent, or you might want to straighten those legs out. And let's just hold here for a few breaths. Again, just feeling that sensation of your body melting into the floor. Amazing how you can get that from something soft, you know, you can understand it with like the hard roller creating that pushing, that tension, but when it's something quite soft, it feels, it's like magic, magic melting. Okay, so we're going to do a little spine twist from here. Let's just get a little bit of movement. So we don't need any props for this, but we're going to bring those feet and knees together, knees bent, feet flat. Opening your arms out to that T position, and then when you're ready, allowing both knees to roll gently to one side. Coming in through centre and over to the other side. So let's just do a few of these little twists here, going from side to side. Alright, and then as you come in this time, pause in there. Grab your little spiky prickle balls now. We're going to pop them under our bottom. So one on each side. And we're going to swing our hips side to side. So a little shimmy side to side. And remember when we're doing around the glute area, you can move them up and down, wider, closer together, whatever feels good to you. It's not like it has to be in one specific spot. It's kind of good to move them around a little bit. And as always, if you need to come off them at any time, you absolutely can. So a little shimmy. And then we're going to bring the feet and knees together. And we're going to do that little spine twist that we just did. So you can go back to that arms in that T position. And then just gently rocking your knees from one side to the other. It doesn't need to be a big movement. But let's just go side to side here. And then we're going to go back to feet and knees hip width apart. We're going to do a little knee drop here. So keeping your foot down on the floor, you're just going to allow one knee to drop out to the side and then come back up towards the sky. Other side, knee drops out and then just gently draws back in. Keep going. Add that little knee lift this time. So as your knee drops out to the side this time, pause. And then picking up the foot away from the floor, bringing that knee towards your shoulder. And then lowering the knee down. And then bringing it back into the centre. Other side, knee drops out. Knee lifts to shoulder. Knee drops down. And back in. Keep switching sides. This movement particularly is really good for the mobility of our hips. Let's do one more of those on each side. And then bringing that knee back in. Once you finish that side, let's just do that little swing of our hips again side to side. Let's just have a little reset, a little roll here. Maybe need to adjust. Okay, so we're going to stay here with the balls and we're going to bring the knees in towards the chest. So bringing both knees in towards the chest. You can have your arms wherever's comfortable. I kind of like this T position, but use whatever feels good to you. And then all we're going to do is we're going to reach one leg away from us and lengthen that leg, make it as long as you can, maybe pointing your toes, and then draw that leg back in. Same on the other side. Reach the leg as far away as you can, stretch the leg, maybe point the toes, and then bring the leg all the way back in. Now we're going to just keep switching sides, reach the leg long and draw it back in. Maybe use your breath, so let's inhale as we reach, exhale as you pull it back in, inhale as you reach, and exhale to pull it back in. And you can choose how high the legs go, so if the legs go straight up towards the sky, that's easier. If they go kind of to that high diagonal, it's a little bit more of a challenge for your abdominals. But just see what feels good to you, because all of these movements, we want them to feel good. Feel like you're treating your body, not punishing it. How about this time, if we reach that leg away, and then lower that leg down towards the floor. Lowering it all the way down to the floor, and then sliding that foot back in to bring that knee back in towards your chest. Same on the other side, so we're going to reach the leg long, and then we're going to lower the leg down. We're going to slide the leg back in, and then bring the knee back into your chest. So just go at your own pace again, super slow. The slower you go, the better it is, the more your body is going to release and relax. Just finding your own rhythm. Let's maybe do one more on each side. I like this one. I could do this one all day. And then just bringing both knees in. When you finish that last one, you can wrap your hands around your knees and just hold there for a moment. We'll place the feet back down on the floor, keeping the balls where they are, but we're going to cross one leg over the other, and we're going to fully cross them over, so thigh to thigh, so it's not like that number 4 stretch. So we've got those legs crossed, and we're going to just gently rock the knees again, side to side here. Just a little side to side. And then whichever leg is the top leg, that same side arm, we're just going to do like a little arc, like a little floor angel. You can have it on the floor, or you can have it just hovering off the floor. And we're just going to do a little floor angel. I'm actually going quite quickly. I don't know why I'm going quickly this morning. My body obviously just wants to move with this. But feel free to kind of go at your own pace as you just gently rock side to side. Just in that little arc with that top arm. And you're just looking for your natural rhythm, just the way that your body's wanting to move. And then pause in there, coming back in through centre. Let's cross our legs over the other way. Again, thigh to thigh. And let's just do a little rock here, side to side. And again, other arm this time, I'm going to do that little arc again, just kind of moving up and down. I'm kind of liking this rocking of the legs, but if you wanted to, you could just kind of hold to one side. We've done that before. I'm kind of liking that little bit of movement. Kind of feeling nice to me. So see how it feels for you. And again, my body's wanting to go a little bit faster for this movement. I don't know why. But just always listening and just noticing. Good. And then as your arm comes kind of back down towards your hip this time, we're just going to pause there. We're going to uncross those legs, and we're going to again just gently swing our hips side to side. A little mat salsa. Okay, taking those balls out from under your bottom, laying your bottom back down, lengthening your legs out long if that feels good to you. Let's hold there for a few breaths. Okay, we're going to use our prickle balls again. We're going to take them up between our shoulders now. So placing them together between your shoulder blades, and I know you can't see and it's a little bit of a tricky place to find, so just do what you can. So they're going to be kind of between your shoulder blades, and then if your head feels like it's going way back, you can grab your big ball and pop that behind your head if that feels better for you, and then hold there. In fact, I am going to pop that behind my head today. Oh, that's nice. And then we're just going to hold here for a few breaths, letting your body settle down. So again, noticing if you're trying to arch your back and trying to keep yourself off those balls, see if you can allow your body to relax. And if they feel really hard, really sharp today, you can always grab a towel and place it over the balls just to soften it a little bit so that it's not quite as deep. And then you can have your legs out long or your knees bent, whichever feels like that's where you want to be right now. And either of those are absolutely fine. Taking those deep breaths. And then we're going to do those little elbow circles again like we did at the start. So lifting your arms away from the floor, let's circle those elbows. You can make the circle as big or as small as you like. And if it doesn't feel nice to you, you can choose to just keep still and not do the little circles. Maybe try circling the other way. I've got all kinds of creaks and clicks going on, it's quite disgusting. And then just pausing there. Again, just hold for a couple of breaths. And then we're going to take one arm and we're going to reach across our body like you're trying to reach something across. Like you're trying to turn off your alarm clock in the morning but you can't be bothered to turn over. And then just releasing that arm back down, and do the same on the other side. So reaching your arm across your body, just pausing for a moment, and then just gently releasing back down. And let's do that a few times. Again, don't force anything. Let's do one more on each side. And as your arm comes down this time, again, we're just going to pause here and take a couple of breaths. Good, okay. We're going to take those balls out and just lie down again for a moment there. And then we're going to roll over and we're going to go onto our front. So have your balls near you so that you can grab them, but we don't need them straight away. So what we're going to do on our front is we're going to have our arms out at the sides. Palms are facing down. And we're going to have our head turned to one side. So with your lower body you can have your legs together or hip width, whichever feels better for you. Find that little tuck of the tailbone, anchoring of your pubic bone, just to give some length into your lower back. Just pausing here. And then we're going to press into our hands and we're going to lift our head away from the floor. It's like a little tiny back extension. We're going to turn our head to the other side. Okay, so whichever way your head is looking, the opposite shoulder is going to drop down to the floor first. So allow that shoulder to release down to the floor. Once the shoulder's down on the floor, then you're going to lower your head down. just hold there. We'll do the same again. We're going to press into the hands, lifting the head away from the floor. Turn your head to the other side. And again, opposite shoulder's going to release down to the floor first. Get the shoulder down first. Then allow your head to come down. Pause in there. We're going to keep going with that. Pressing the hands into the floor. Finding that little bit of back extension to lift the head. Head turns. Shoulder comes down first. And then the head. Just pausing. And again, press into the hands, lift your head. Head turns, shoulder drops, and head goes down. Let's do one more of these on each side. So this is a real nice shoulder release, coming up when you're ready. Turning your head, dropping that shoulder, and your head. Last time, press into the hands, lift the head. Turn, drop your shoulder, and release the head all the way down. Okay, so we're going to grab one of the balls. Now you only need one. And we're going to pop it at the front of the shoulder. So kind of where your arm and your shoulder meet. Okay, so it's kind of just there. Yeah. Okay, and then we're going to have that hand like a scarecrow. So hand is hovering off the floor, elbows bent. And then you can bring your other hand around to rest your head on if you want to. Okay, now this hand, we're going to just reach it forwards. And then just bending that elbow to bring it back to its start position. So again, not a big movement. Reaching that arm forwards. And then bending that elbow back in. Well, let's do that a few times. Do one more like that. And then we're going to take it into a little bit of a circle. So this time, reach your arm forwards. And then circle that arm out to the side, taking that arm down towards your hip. And then turn your hands so the palm's now going to face up and take that hand behind your back. And then we're going to again sweep it out to the side. Turn your hands so the palm's facing the floor again. And let's take it all the way forwards. Circling out to the side. Turn the hand so the palm faces up as you sweep that hand behind your back. Out to the side. Palm faces down and forwards. Let's just do one more time. We're going to take that arm forwards. And then we're just going to bend that elbow again back into that kind of scarecrow first position. And then just allow your arm to relax down. We're going to do the same on the other side. So we're going to take that ball and pop it on the other side. Again, it's going to go right where your shoulder joins. And we've got that stop position. Pubic bone anchored, tailbone slightly tucked to give us length in our lower back. And that other hand can come around to rest your head. Okay, and same thing here. We're just going to reach that arm forwards first. And then just bending that elbow to come back to our start position. And again, forwards. And back in. Keep going. Two more. And then we're going to do that circle. So circling out to the side. Remembering to turn your palm to face up as you bring that arm across your back. And the palm faces down again as you go back to the front. Just go nice and slow. Good. Good job. And then as that arm reaches forwards this time, we're going to again bend that elbow and release the hand all the way down. Okay, we're going to get rid of that ball. We're going to push ourselves up and back to find that rest position, just to give our back a little bit of a stretch. That's because we've been lying on our front for a while. Reaching those arms forwards, stretching out the shoulders as well. Just take a few breaths here. Okay, and then when you're ready, coming up, so we need to grab our strap this time and the balls, and we're going to go over onto our back. We're going to pop them under our bottom again. So one on each side. And then we're going to place one of our feet into the strap. So strap at the base of your toes, at the ball of your foot. And then I would keep the other leg bent. I think that's going to be a nicer position rather than having it out long here. Let's have that leg bent today. Okay, so the leg that we've got in the strap, we're just going to lower and lift this leg. So when you're ready, let that leg lower down towards the floor and then lift up towards the sky. Lowering and lifting here. Just go at your own pace. And then as you come up towards the sky this time, hold it there. We're going to go out to the side and then across. So we're going side to side now, out to the side and across. Keep going. And then it's going to sweep down towards the other foot and then out to the side. So it's just that little arc. Out to the side and then down towards your feet. Good. Good. And then we're going to take that leg back up towards the sky again. And we're going to start doing a little spiral. So we're going to start super small, doing a little tiny circle, and then starting to spiral out and make that circle a little bit bigger, and a little bit bigger, and a little bit bigger. And again, we're using this to unwind, to get rid of tension, so don't worry too much here if your body's kind of rocking and rolling. Doesn't matter. If that knee's kind of dropping out to the side, doesn't matter. So we're kind of at our maximum spiral size, maybe now, and we're going to start to spiral back in. So let's reverse the circle. So we've got that big circle, and we're going to start to gently spiral it back in, making it smaller and smaller. Good. And then we're coming back into that little tiny, tiny spiral, tiny circle. And we're going to pause. And then we're going to switch legs, popping the strap onto the other side. Again, free leg, we're going to keep it bent. And then once you're happy and you're ready, we're going to do that lower and lift on this leg. Then we're going to take it into that side to side. So as you come up this time, let's go side to side. We're going to do our little arc this time. So as the leg goes out to the side, we're going to sweep it down towards the foot of the mat and then back out to the side. So just that little arc. Good. And then let's take the leg back up towards the ceiling, and we're going to do our spiral again here. So starting with that really small circle. And then starting to make your circle bigger, starting to spiral out. Remember, you can make your spiral as big or as small as you like. And then let's start to spiral the other way. So we're going to stay with the big circle as we go the other way and start to wind it in. Good. Making that spiral smaller and smaller until it's a teeny tiny circle. And then just pause in there. And then just bending that leg in, get rid of your strap. Let's just have a little shimmy side to side again here. And then take those balls out from under your bottom and just lengthen those legs out long. Let's just pause and take a few breaths. Okay, so the next little series of releases that we're going to do is going to be for our quads, and you can choose your own adventure here of how cruel you want to be to your body. So we're going to release the quads. Now you can use your foam roller, which is quite intense but good, or you can use your 2 prickle balls, which is still intense but slightly less so and still really good. So choose which one you're going to go for. I'm going to go for roller, but I might wimp out and go back to balls afterwards. So either your roller or your balls, and we're going to come down onto our front. And you're going to have your roller or your balls right at the top of your thigh. So it's not going to be right on your hip crease, it's going to be just below. Okay, so it's on the thigh, below your hip crease. And if you're on your roller, that's where you're aiming for too. And then all we're going to do is hold it still. So you can choose if you want to be on your elbows, if you want to be all the way down, on your resting your forehead on your hands. Just find what works for you. If you're up on your roller like me, just watch that you're not sinking your rib cage down and creating that. You see how my lower back just drops down. Got to keep those ribs drawn in to protect that lower back. And we're holding. And we're breathing, especially breathing. Using the weight of our body and gravity to help release tension through the quads. So these guys tend to hold a lot of tension, a lot of tightness. So it's why it feels really intense. So if you started on your roller but it's just too much, you can always switch to the little prickle balls. Again, notice if you are trying to hold yourself away from the balls or the roller, see if you can allow yourself to soften. And then we're going to move them down, so balls or roller, they want to go to kind of mid-thigh now. So can you kind of find that mid-thigh? Again, breathe, don't hold your breath. Sometimes this is the most intense spot for some people. It depends where you hold your tension. Mine tends to be probably more just above the knee really, but this often is quite a tender spot. It might feel bruised. And if you're on your balls, then on
you to kind of just gently rock side to side so that the ball's kind of rolling across your thigh. And if you're on a roller, we're going to roll back up to that top spot right at the top of the thigh and then roll down to that mid-thigh point. So we're going to roll out between those 2 points that hopefully we've released. If you're on your balls, you're just going to rock gently side to side. Good. Okay, we're going to move the balls or the roller down now. They're going to go just above your knee. So it's not on your knee, it's just above. Again, it probably feels quite a nasty place. We're going to hold it here. Notice if every muscle in your body has now just gripped. See if you can find that little bit of softness. See if you can. Definitely not relax, but try and find just that little bit less lifting yourself away and clenching of your teeth. So see if you can release a little bit. And then we're going to do the same again. If you're on your balls, you're going to rock gently side to side, letting the ball roll across your thigh. If you're on your roller, we're going to roll back up to that mid-thigh point and then back down towards the knee, top of the knee. Really good. Oh, it's just torturous, isn't it? All right. And then when you're ready, we're going to come on off that. So I like to kind of roll myself so that I can get my knees down on the floor. And then take that roller away, your balls away. Come back down onto your front again. Oh. And then we're just going to bend one knee, bringing that heel towards your bottom. Reaching your hand back to just grab that ankle. Just noticing how that quad stretch feels. Hopefully it feels a little bit easier perhaps than when we normally do it. Maybe it was a little bit easier to get your grab hold of your ankle today. And then maybe it feels nice to just gently roll that leg side to side. Nice and gentle, nice and easy. And then when you're ready, let that leg go. Let's do the same on the other side. So bending the leg in. Again, reaching your hand back to grab your ankle. Just notice if it feels easier. And when you're ready, you can just gently rock side to side with that thigh there. And then when you're ready, we're just going to release that leg, pushing yourself up and back to find your child's pose, just to give your back a little stretch out, reaching the arms forwards. And then when you're ready, just gently coming up to seated. So grab those little spiky balls, where are they? And hiding behind me. So we're going to do a little bit of release for our ankle and our lower leg here. So we're going to have one ball and we're going to let our ankle kind of just sit on top of it. So you can have it above your ankle. It's soft, it's not going to do any damage. It can be right on your ankle bone, above it, just anywhere that feels okay for you. I'm going to go just above my ankle bone now. And then we're going to use the other ball to roll around this inside ankle bone. So we kind of go, you can go over it, you can go behind it, above it. Just go gentle, you're not trying to punish it, you're just trying to release anything around it. And feel free to kind of move this ball around a little bit that's underneath if it feels like it wants to go. I've moved mine to kind of behind. You know, that bit behind, that kind of feels like, that feels nice. And then just rolling around. So once we've kind of rolled around that little ankle bone, we're going to start to come up the inside of this lower leg. So you might want to kind of maybe go side to side or do little circles. Can't do it wrong, it doesn't really matter. Just whatever feels good to you. I'm going to come all the way up to the knee. Just kind of covering all of that side, all of that inside. I've kind of gone up the outside and come back down along that inside. And you can spend as long as you wanted to doing this. It's kind of nice to get yourself a little bit of attention, a little bit of love. Really good for circulation of our lower leg, because again, tends to be an area that circulation isn't brilliant. So by just doing this little bit of brickle ball massage, it really does help with that. Let's just do exactly the same on the other side. So, other leg. Again, resting your ankle on the spiky ball, wherever it wants to be, and then using that other one to just massage and roll around. Again, once you're kind of happy with your ankle, you're just going to go working your way up inside that leg. You can circle, you can do what feels right. And coming up to your knee. And obviously I'm doing it quickly because we're coming towards the end of the class, but you could spend as long as you wanted to here. You can use these little spiky balls to massage anywhere that just feels good, and you could get some nice little oil on it as well, and just kind of, you know, do your arms, especially forearms. That's kind of nice to do your forearms, you do your legs, you do your feet. Nice to roll your feet out with these balls. Anyway, you could just sit and roll out your thighs while you're watching TV, anywhere. There's nowhere that you can do any damage with these because they are just really nice and soft and gentle. Okay, lower legs have had a bit of attention. Grab your big ball and let's lie back down and place the big ball under your neck. I'm going to do a little neck release. So it's under your neck, so that your head is just fully supported. Your neck does not have to hold up your heavy head. And then you might choose to have your knees bent or your legs out long, whichever feels like just most comfortable for you is fine. And then we're just going to take some deep breaths and just relax. Doing that little scan through your body, noticing again if you're gripping and holding, check your hot spots, check between your eyebrows. Can you soften your forehead? Soften around your eyes, your jaw, your neck, your shoulders. Just let everything be as relaxed as possible. Carry on scanning down your body, noticing if there's a lot of tension in your shoulders, your elbows, your wrists, your hands. Just try and let everything just be as soft and relaxed as possible. Don't need to be holding your belly in here. Your belly can just be totally relaxed. Legs relaxed, feet soft. And then you might choose to just stay here with your head in this centre position. That might just feel like that's where you want to be right now. Or you might decide to start to really gently turn your head to one side, moving super slowly. Think about leading with your nose as you gently, gently turn your head as far as you can. One side, super slow. The slower you go, the better it's going to be. Once you've gone as far as you can one way, you're just going to pause there for a couple of breaths. If you're still moving, carry on.
Might get to that point where you feel like your head is just about to fall off the ball. And then when you feel ready, let's start to slowly take our head back, up towards the sky. Again, leading with your nose, going super slow. And starting to turn your head to the other side. Again, just go into your own maximum position. Don't force anything. And once you've gone as far as you can again, you're just going to pause for a few breaths. And then when you feel ready, just going to slowly bring your head back into centre. And again, you might choose to just stay still because that's just where you want to be, or you might start to do that little bit of a spiral with your nose here, so starting to do little tiny circles with your nose. Maybe you're starting to make the circle a little bit bigger. And then we're going to reverse and go the other way, so stay with that big circle to begin with, and you're going to start to spiral back in. Making that little spiral with your nose, smaller and smaller. Until it just comes to rest in centre again. And we're just going to hold here for a few more breaths now. And again, you could stay in this position for as long as feels good to you. You know, this is quite a nice release for your neck that you could do anytime if you're watching TV. Get yourself on the floor, get this ball under your neck and just do a little bit of neck movement there. That's a really nice way to kind of get more movement into your everyday without having to give up your TV habits or whatever. Alright, take the ball away and then just lower your head back down onto the floor. And we're just going to super gently turn our head from side to side here. Just see how that neck is feeling. Just gently, gently. Side to side. We're going to find our way up into a seated position now, so take your time, but come on up to find a seated position. And we're only going to be here for a minute. We're just going to see how our neck's feeling, see how our shoulders are feeling. So once you're seated, let's just gently turn our head side to side here. How about head tilt? Can you drop your ear down towards your shoulder and just pause? And then take it over to the other side and just pause. Do that again, one more to each side. Coming in through centre, let's just do some little gentle shoulder rolls. And go the other way. I hope you feel all nice and released and relaxed and ready to face whatever you've got planned for the rest of